guys, it's Cam and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome, and I really hope that you join the Cam fam by hitting that subscribe button down below and make sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss my future uploads. In case you missed my previous video that I literally filmed like right before this one, I'm getting a nose job and boob job, but I'm mostly focusing on my nose since it's kind of something that's more corrective. But I wanted to do this video because probably once this is uploaded, I'm gonna already have my new nose, and as a kind of like farewell to my old nose, I wanted to do a video showing you guys the best way that I've learned how to manage to contour a nose with a bulbous tip and a hump. So that's what this video is about, and it is an ode to my nose. Obviously, I have like no problem making fun of myself to help you guys, and yeah, just having a laugh at my expense. I wanted to basically show you guys just what I feel like has been the most effective with kind of helping me deal with it, especially with photographing myself, or if I want to look good at an event or something like that. Obviously, I haven't always known how to contour my nose, and so a lot of the times it's kind of like just looked like this and not been very flattering in photos. So because I'm not going to have another opportunity to show you guys, I wanted to just do a culmination of everything I've learned with how to deal with this nose. So what I'm going to use to do this is just a bronzer, and I'm just going to use my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. And I would say the most important part of this is not necessarily how cool or warm toned your bronzer is or something like that. It's the brush, because I've tried to kind of do a light dusting with like a big bronzer brush that I'm using on my cheeks to try to like contour my nose. And honestly, what works the best in my opinion is kind of like a small eyeshadow brush that's angled. There's dust. This one's pretty thin, it's not very wide, and it's also angled, which definitely helps with the blending. So this is just a brush that came in like a BH Cosmetics brush set. I do know JD Wadey 180 does make a nose contour brush that is, I believe, a collaboration with Luxie brushes, but honestly, anything that's really, really soft, this brush is really soft too, so it's really not going to disturb the makeup that you have on your nose. And so definitely try to get like a soft, thin, fluffy, angled shadow brush. So the first thing that I kind of like have to contend with here is that, like, obviously if you look at my nose, it's really, really long. And this is something that my plastic surgeon like mentioned off the bat, that my nose is really long, not to mention like if I smile, it like goes down. So if you see that, it's like going down and pointing down. So that's the first thing to kind of deal with. And so what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of the bronzer, and then just to make sure we don't get too much product on it, I'm not only gonna tap off the brush, I'm also just gonna tap some of the excess of it off on the back of my hand. So that way we're not depositing too much product right off the bat. And so I'm really gonna take this and just start whittling down underneath this tip at first to try to shorten it as much as I can. Now, because this is normally a very shadowed area, you can go a little heavier with the pigment here, and it's really just gonna help, as you can see, shorten the nose the higher you go up the nose here. So I'm gonna go pretty high with this. And then once I've kind of gotten to where the light starts hitting the bulb, I'm going to start going on the sides of it. There you go. So now, because this area is normally very, very shaded, I've been able to put a lot of pigment down and really, really shorten it. So now with the bulb, as you can see, like, I'm not having anything done to my bridge because I already have a very thin bridge of my nose. It's really this bulb that I have an issue with. And so a lot of nose contouring tutorials will simply tell you to, you know, starting at your eyebrow, do 2 thin lines, whittling your nose. Well, if I did that, honestly, it would just accentuate the weird shape of my nose even more. So essentially, I've already got some shadows going on the side of my nose, and I really don't want to whittle that bridge any thinner than it already is. So my goal here is to try to kind of like take this point and meet it with the shadow that's going on already on the side of my nose. So I'm going to take some more of the bronzer. And now as you can see, we're simply like trying to meet that shadow. So I'm trying not to make any obvious lines. But see, I'm just creating a shadow there. And the other thing that you can do to really try to make this a little more like not quite so contoured looking is drag it over to the side. So all of this isn't like lighter and breaking the illusion right there. So as you can see, I've definitely slimmed down this side. Now you can just connect it right here. Intensify it a little more. And this is basically how I take my nose from this to this. So I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. And notice I'm really not taking it up my bridge past the bulb. Now another thing you want to make sure to do to not like break this illusion is to make sure these lines meet in this like edge of the bulb. So as you can see, I've slimmed down the bulb a lot, but if you're having trouble with blending it out, then you really don't want to be moving the product around too much on your nose because it will disturb your foundation, and that's the quickest way to kind of turn this into a big mess on your nose. So if you do feel like the lines are a little too obvious for you, then what I recommend you do is take a brush with some of whatever like loose or pressed powder you use that day and just ever so lightly dust it over this. And that definitely helps you like soften the lines a little bit, but it doesn't disturb your makeup too much because obviously, you know, you've already applied some powder to your nose, and it just softens the look a lot, but still gives me this like more chiseled tip. So now I'm gonna tackle the hump. And from the side, there's not much you can do to kind of like, you know, create an illusion to change what your nose is doing. What I like to do from the front simply is, as you can see, the light is hitting my bridge because it's the highest point of my nose a lot. So it's creating a highlight there. And so what I like to do is simply dust a little bit of the bronzer where that light is hitting to hopefully make the area look a little more receded and to not have it stick out so much. Now again, this is kind of really hard to do to not look like you just smeared bronzer all over your nose. So I like to really just concentrate it on the edges a little bit and then do a very light dusting in the center of it. And then again, I like to go in with a little bit of powder and make that more diffused looking. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful, and if you did, then please hit that like button down below for me. So next time you guys see me, I'm gonna be already post-surgery, so my nose will be done, and I will show you guys the actual after of the surgery and just give you all the updates as far as how recovery goes and stuff like that. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right, darlings, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.